What's up, everybody? Mr. Forrest back with another video. People ask me, what does a kids pastor do? Man, I do a lot. So I preach 4 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes 5 times or even 6 times a week. But preaching takes a lot of time. When I'm preaching, say for a Wednesday night Ed story, I will translate the passage from Greek. I will study the passage and pray over the passage. I will consult commentaries. I want to be sure that I understand the passage really well. Then when I feel like I understand the point of the passage, then I'll start crafting the story. I'll start writing the story about Ed. And it takes a lot of creative energy and time to do that. And once I'm done, then I memorize the story. Because I don't feel like I can be looking down at notes while I'm preaching and still hold kids' attention. So I memorize the sermon as well. So preaching of itself takes a lot of my time in prayer. But I also do other things, like I have meetings because I'm organizing a ministry team, which are Gospel Story Hour teachers, small group leaders, Bible time teachers. And so it's a lot of correspondence, lots of emails, phone calls, Facebook messages. I'm planning ahead, planning family nights and the laser tag outreach and VBS. And there's a lot of planning that goes into pulling that off and making that the whole thing just right. And I'm a big believer in if you get the details right, it'll make it that much better. I do counseling. Parents will bring their kids in and say, hey, can we all talk together? And we sit in my office and we talk together and we pray together and we deal with heart issues and that's a big thing. I write newsletters to parents and keep them updated on what I'm doing, and a lot of it's like logistics stuff. There's planning and there's preparation and there's this and there's this. But one of the things that I do that's pretty enjoyable, more than anything, I just like being with the kids, visiting them at lunch or at school dismissal or whatever, but having people over at our house and having pizza parties and things. But one of the things I do enjoy doing, I like working around the building because I like to see progress happening. And progress is happening, and we really haven't had a spot that looks like it belongs, like it's a kid-friendly spot. And so we're starting to change that. As you can tell by my messy hands, we're doing some painting today. So we are, our friend Steve built us these great stage pieces, and so we sanded them down, first with a really coarse grit, and then with a medium grit, then with a fine grit to get a nice smooth surface on that plywood. And then we filled the holes with like a bonding, and then we sand that down, and then we prime it all. And you let the prime sit for 24 hours, and then you sand it down. And then you prime it again. And you let that sit for a day, and then you sand it down. And then you paint. And you let that sit for a day, and you sand it. And then you paint the final coat. So it's going to take us almost all week to get these stage pieces done. But we're also doing new classrooms. These rooms used to be offices, but we're making them into classrooms. And for that, we had to pull all these nails and screws out of the walls, and we had to putty over these huge holes. And then we're going to, we tape the trim off everywhere we don't want paint to be. And then we paint. And then we wait till the next day and we give it a second coat. And then it looks beautiful. Guys, my family gets to be with me as we do endeavors like this, and so they get to serve with me and they get to help me. But they also get to do their schoolwork here, and they also get to play some. So we serve the Lord together as a family, and we have an absolute blast doing it. Guys, there's lots of things that goes into being a kids pastor, and this is just one of them. Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be a kids pastor. Guys, that's it for now, but I'll see you guys next time. Mr. Forrest out.
Hi. It was.
It was?